Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hope you're having a great day. It feels good. It feels really great. Fantastic to be back with you. And we're going to be talking. This is Reflections. I am Carol Sally. I am your host for the show. And I'd like for you to join us for a few minutes. So today we're going to be talking about issues of import. And one of the issues that I feel is very significant at this time is reconnection of family. Reconnecting with family, because the times that we are living in at this particular time are times of hardship, difficulty, times like we've never experienced before. So I feel that it is imperative that if we have loved ones that we have not checked on or we have not tapped into, this is the time to do it. So our show today is featuring, I have guests, two sisters, and the sisters have not, well, up until 2 days ago, they had not seen each other for over 10 years, over a 10-year period. I know, a 10-year period. So, and they grew up very close together, and I'm not going to tell you their story, but what I'm going to do, they have reconnected, and so today we're going to be talking about some of the reasons why perhaps they had not seen each other and how they plan to navigate the future going forward. So please welcome my guests today. I have with me Shonda, and I have with me Fatima Christina. Okay, so they're joining. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you
to Reflections. And so it's just so good to see the two of you together and smiling. It is absolutely beautiful to see those smiles and make this connection. So I feel a very positive energy coming through. And what I'd like for you to do, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and this is not scripted. They have no idea what I'm going to ask them, so I don't know how the answers are going to come across. So you, audience, as well as myself, are going to find out just kind of sort of what took place for two beautiful sisters to not physically embrace for over a decade. Okay, so my first question is that I kind of know your history. I know how you grew up, and I know that you were very close up until a certain point. So let's start with that. Let's go back to that point where the divide took place. And tell me your version of what happened to cause this divide.
I think it was when I moved out of Fort Worth and I left home to come to Houston. That's when the divide started. And then, as Fatima was explaining to me last night, she felt like I abandoned them to start my own family, and which really essentially is basically what I did. I came to Houston and started my own family away from my family.
Okay, so let's establish big sister who has been there for little sister all the time decides that she's going to make a move. So big sister makes the move. Little sister's at home. Little sister, how did you feel? And is this what you feel caused a divide?
Yes. I did come after her to Houston to try and make sure we was always close to. So I know far apart.
Okay. So you all
I wanted to stay closer to the Dallas-Fort Worth area during that time.
okay,
More than
Metroplex
Houston.
still.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so how long were you here before Fatima joined you?
At least 4 years.
Okay, that's a long time. That's
Yeah.
a long separation period of time. So Fatima, during that 4-year period, how did you feel?
I don't know. I can't really explain it. I always just looked at my sister as she's a good like protector. I always tell her like her personality is something she's always had. I remember as a kid, but I don't know. In 4 years, I guess I didn't feel too bad because I was still not too far from my sister.
Okay, from
So
Dallas
it's like,
to Houston.
yeah, I think I felt kind of like, oh, but she is kind of still one skip and a jump away, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't feel like too much of the, abandonment
Yeah,
issue.
because at first I was like, if my mom said she wanted to see me or my sister said they wanted to see me, I was on the bus back and forth to Fort Worth for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving right along,
Mhm.
something happened in that course of time. So we're saying we're looking at the beginning point. But then how did it get to the point where two sisters that love each other, do anything for each other, live life together, want a dog together, end up not seeing each other for 10 years? And still, please, can we get to that?
Well, my marriage had a lot to do with it as well. He was very controlling, and things kind of got like toxic between me and my family. This is my view of things.
Okay, so you were in a toxic relationship,
Mhm.
and the toxic relationship spilled over
Into my family.
into your family life. Okay, do you feel that that's what happened,
Yes.
Fatima? Okay.
She's like 100%.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, like me and my sister have always had a unique bond. It's just the relationships that we both have chosen, because I probably paid attention more to relationships in my family before too, but has came between us focusing on our family bond.
Toxic relationships do have a tendency sometimes to separate people that are close to you in our lives. We do know that. This is a pattern. So, how long was it before you realized that this toxic relationship had impacted your family life?
I mean, when you're in it, you don't realize it. You don't realize it. And then when you get out of it, you end up seeking somebody out that's the same way, because that's what you're used to. So I didn't realize for a long time how narcissistic the people that I was in a relationship with. And with a narcissist, if anyone has been with a narcissist, they try to isolate you so they can be your all.
That's a whole totally another show
Show.
that we're going to talk about there.
But this is the build up to us not seeing each other,
Right.
And even though she came to live with us off and on, it still was a us against them type situation. Us against all the family.
Okay. So, I'm going to ask a question, and if you don't feel comfortable, well, I'm going to ask this question because you said something, and I think it needs to be said.
Mhm.
She came to live with you.
Mhm.
Okay, how long?
I came a couple of times, right?
Yeah, she came multiple times. I think the longest stay was like 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, did I have Kakila or? When I was pregnant.
No, it was before Kakila.
Oh, okay.
It was
Okay, so
I was in high
before
school.
you had
You
your
was in high
first child,
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
in high school when
Mhm.
you came in this relationship. Well, of course, if it was toxic, you were not comfortable in the relationship. Was it a, was it a situation where, how do I ask? Was it a situation that you felt comfortable being alone with him if your sister wasn't there?
No, it wasn't that type of situation. I don't know. I just felt like with him, me and him actually had a okay relationship at points. So I'm not gonna just say that. Yeah, I just feel like when he got time to say, hey, your sister is no more with this union. It was like, okay, well I gotta go along with him because this is my man. If he say I can't talk to you no more or anything, I gotta go along with him. So that's how it was like.
Did you feel deserted from as far as your sister?
Right.
Okay, so there was a feeling of desertion. Did you feel that you had deserted your sister?
No, because I was doing what I felt like the Bible was telling you. That you leave your family and you cleave to your husband or you cleave to your spouse, So that's what I was doing. I was cleaving to, this is how I was thinking and looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, and I was cleaving to my family. And that's it. At that time, I think another thing that kind of like brought the disconnect is because this was my baby until I had a baby.
I understand. I
Yeah.
get that. Okay, so moving right along past the toxic marriage. Toxic marriage is gone. Then what happened?
I think it was a lot of
Toxic boyfriend.
it's the toxic boyfriend. Let's talk about that this. We talking about that.
Because I'm telling you, this is my sister doesn't have this we don't have no ism. It's not between us. It's always something manipulating the energy. It's because it's nothing we can say that, okay, well Shonda did me so bad, I don't know if I can forgive her. I don't know, I can't remember or recall anything my sister. I can say she did to me, and I can say, oh, I could just never forgive her.
Okay,
You know,
so let's say
always like,
she moved, and she's also clarified that toxic relationship in the beginning led her to have other toxic relationships, and as a consequence, those toxic relationships caused you to further distance yourself from your sister. All right, so now where are we now? How does it feel after 10 years of toxic relationships? Did you all, I know you kind of talked to each other, did you, during this time frame? And
off and on, and that's another thing that kind of kept us like away from each other, because other people within our family would have us at odds as well. Yeah, like we would have
drama.
Family drama within our family as well. Like it's
dissension.
It's
some vultures that they that's how they feed off of this dissension and breaking up
they can't be friends with both of us, or I'm not saying like friends, but they can't be cordial with both of us at the same time. It has to be, Shonda did this to me in her ear, or in my ear, Fatima did this to me, is treating me like this. It's never we're all three of us together and we're having a cordial conversation. It's always had to be some gossip.
Okay, so and that takes place now. So is it 10 years later, or has it been longer? Or
it's been a little bit longer.
Than a decade. So let's talk about the good part of it. How does it feel at this point in your journey to reconnect with the sister that you grew up with, the little sister the big sister that you grew up with? I see the smiles, but I want to know, how does it feel? Is there a certain energy? Explain that.
For me, it kind of like, I guess, pick up where you left off, I guess. It's not really a certain energy.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of like more as we're picking up where we left off.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so
We're just learning, and then we're learning each other's new aura because it has been a decade and people do change. She definitely doesn't act the same way as she did when she was married, and that's how I've always known her, is to be married. And so now that she's single, I'm getting to know this single Shonda, and she's getting to know, the more older, mature little sister. So.
okay, okay. So do you feel at this point in your life that this type of situation could ever take place again? Do you feel that something could come in and cause the barrier for you to separate again? Be honest.
I mean, the goal is, anything is possible, but the goal is to not allow situations like that to happen again.
What could possibly cause that?
Nothing.
She
Not
said,
for me.
Not for you.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
I mean,
She know I'm clingy. She know I'm be calling.
well, if we have, because like I said, it's not just to, the outside people. Like, me and my little sister have had fights. It's serious fights, like words and fists and all that stuff. But that's what family do. That's what family do. But my problem is, we have a fight. You're my sister. I should be able to come to my sister and tell my sister anything in my secrets. She should be my little secret diary.
Absolutely.
Not everything
Absolutely.
that I tell you should be planted on Facebook when you get mad at me.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Right.
That's another issue. So,
Right,
you want to
so-
talk about that, Fatima?
We can talk about that. I do remember the last reconnection that we had, and I don't know where exactly my sister was, and I think I was at that point where the maturity level was, I'm not going to be on any social media platform, but I don't know, we had some type of disconnect as far as on the phone, and then she was the one to first start with the Facebook stuff, and then after that her boyfriend intervened, and that's where I was hurt at, because I don't care what my sister say, but I just felt like play that she would allow some man to put me down, with her, because I've never allowed any man to, disrespect her. I wouldn't allow, I don't care what we get into, ain't no man gonna disrespect my sister, and that's where I'm at when it comes to relationships. But
Okay, so, and you're saying, and I like that, you're saying, and that's as it should be, no man is going to disrespect your sister. So let's talk about the elements involved in social media. So when you invite social media into your home, do you realize that is a very, especially on personal issues like we're talking about, that is a very destructive weapon, because once you've voiced something negative, now if you voice something negative to your sister, do you think that the world needs to know that?
no.
Okay. Have you voiced something negative on social media with regard to either one of you?
Well, that's when it goes back to who started what.
Okay, but
Yeah,
regardless
we're
of
not
who
gonna
started,
do all of that, because I do things in retaliation. I don't, and that's if you brought me to that point. Like,
okay.
I'm very
Well,
peaceful.
with me, I'm
hold
like,
it right
okay.
there. Let's hold it right there.
Mhm.
So, okay, we're talking reality,
Mhm.
and we're reflecting on what took place, but we're also talking reality, and the purpose of the show is to try and get us to get in a positive mind frame. Why? Because we're talking about families that will no longer see each other, cannot say goodbyes, and so forth.
If you don't want,
So, wait just a minute, Fatima. So, again, this retaliation thing,
Mhm.
how do we, at this point in our lives, are we there yet where we can actually bridge forgiveness, which has taken place? Forgiveness is not easy. It's not easy. And I see you're kind of shaking your head, and I haven't seen Fatima nod or anything. So where are we with regard to forgiveness as to what has taken place in the past?
I forgive him.
Yeah, that, like, I'm not holding the animosity about it. My only thing is, like I was saying, I expect my sister to be the keeper of my secrets.
I agree.
Whether you're angry with me or not,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how all of my best of friends are. They will tell you not all of them know all of my business.
Okay, stop with best of friends. Who was your first best of friend?
My sister.
Okay. Your sister was your first best of friend. She was your diary. She was your go-to person.
And
for
she's always
everything.
been like that, though. She's always, her and the other person that we're not going to talk about, that when I tell them anything, it gets blasted on the internet.
Yeah, that's a totally, I don't think I'm gonna breach that one right now.
But honestly, I think that she should kind of like, if you don't want that to happen, you don't do it either. The last time we did talk, we were on the phone and you went to the internet, and I called you over and over, and I'm like, let's talk about this, let's talk about it, and you wouldn't talk to me. If we're gonna keep it like that, you can't do it to me, and I'm not gonna do it to you, right?
Right.
So that's where we at with it. We can't do it to each other, because I don't want the same thing. I don't want to be body shamed on the internet. I don't want some man that I don't know saying things about me. I don't want my sister saying things about me. I don't want to say things about my sister on there.
But you have.
I have, and
yes.
and
not just about your sister.
Right.
You have dished out some things
mm-hmm.
on internet, and I'm certain that at this point in your growth,
I'm over that.
You're over it. It's something that you experience.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm talking this forgiveness thing, because forgiveness, we can very easily say it, but to actually forgive, and once you forgive, it's like you can take a deep breath. It is so, it's like, I'm so over that, because life is about so much more. So many people today wish they had their sister to be their diary, to be their best friend, to be their communicator, to be someone they could pick up the phone and call. So what you all have here is something that's very rich, something that is very spiritual, that is not given to all. So you need to recognize.
Like, I know what she's asking of me. She's asking of me not to put, if anybody put her business out there, and I'm asking if we're into any type of sisterly, dispute, that you don't put your man on the phone and to disrespect me in any kind of way. And that was her husband, and that was her boyfriend.
Yeah, but so that's when I didn't know. I'm a whole different person. That's when I didn't know. I'm sorry to cut y'all, but that's when I didn't know how to speak up for myself.
Right.
So they were doing it
in
protected. They were doing it to protect me, but now when you know better, you do better.
You do better.
When you know better, you do better.
And that's what we are trying to do, is encourage, because you're not the only ones that have undergone this type of situation. So what we want to do is to be a part of passing on positivity, and basically instructing others that may be going through the same type of difficulty as to how to forget, and to forgive. And
in my opinion, I'm working more as to just trying to know her, because being away from somebody over a decade, you just do not know them as well as you may think them. Even though I know different things about her, I still have to get to know this new person, and she has to get to know me.
And that's gonna take some time.
Right.
That's not gonna happen in
Right.
a day or two.
Right.
And that's what I'm
Mhm.
hoping to hear from you too today, is that you're going to further this relationship, that you're going to talk to each other during the course of the year, that you're gonna see each other. There's some of the
interject
trips
one
you
thing
take,
that I did
that
do
you are
last
going
night?
to go on some trips and so forth together.
We
You have no plan to do
we
that?
planned that. We
All
actually planned
right,
it.
okay.
So what I did was last night when I came here, I took her hand and I told her, "Tell me all your grievances. Tell me all your grievances. Tell me everything."
Can you demonstrate what you did?
So I grabbed my sister's hand and I said, "Look in my eyes and tell me your grievances. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna listen. So and I can't and I am not responsible. This is how you feel. So I'm not gonna be mad at you for how you feel." Right. And she told me, she was like, "I really don't have anything, but and I didn't told you everything, but little by little it came out, and I came to understand her, not to. I listened to understand instead of listening to, well, to rebuttal, to argue with her. So I came to understand. And when I talked to her and the way she explained it to me, I understood. Yeah.
What is the energy like holding her hand?
It's emotional. I'm really, cause y'all know I'm a crybaby. Like I'm for real a crybaby.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just emotional, it's like I'm reconnected with my first baby. This is my first child. That's my first.
And the thing about it is, when I look at the two of you, I see you all. There's such a resemblance, and there's it's like a glow. It's like I'm so thankful that you all have decided to reconnect at this point. How do you think it would have felt had you not reconnected, and God forbid something had happened to either of you?
Right.
Yeah. How
That was to be terrible. I told her, I said that when we were out, I said, "Thank you for letting me see you."
So who was the person that was just persistent about not seeing? Which one of you?
I think at certain points it was either of us. When she looking at me like it was.
Don't even do that, because I don't care. I want to see my sister.
No.
Yes, all the time.
No.
Yes, I do.
When you were down here when I first bought my house.
Yeah, I didn't get to come because I had somebody else in the car and they were rushing me back home. That was the only reason why I didn't stop. But no,
Is that the only reason?
that's the only reason why I didn't stop.
Okay.
Yeah, only reason.
I didn't.
But-
Yeah, but
So get that
last
out,
year,
because I can tell
last
she was
year,
bothered by that.
last year, I was not mentally ready.
Okay.
I was not
Good.
in a good place.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's the only time I ever kind of felt rejection, and that's when I kind of like lashed out. Because I'm like, yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, because I reached out and she didn't want to talk to me, and I told her, I said, that's